Hi, my name is Yue Ranjiang. Today I will finish Dormitory 3. And for the question, here are 5 questions. And for the first questions, revisit knowledge check 1 from chapter 7.1 and create a 95% confidence interval. Okay, for the first one, to create a 95% confidence interval, follow the step outline for two samples. They test the confidence interval for the difference between two proportion. P1 minus P2 is calculated using the formula. Use this formula. And we can give that P and oh my god, we can give that P E and P2 are the sample proportion, and N1 and N2 are the sample size. Z is the value for a 95% confidence in level. Maybe each approximately 1.96. Yeah. For the question 2, the null hypothesis of knowledge check 1 from chapter 7.1 was that P1 equal P2, which means that P1 minus P2 is equal to 0. Is a number 0 in the confidence interval you create in question 1? If it is, then you would not reject the null hypothesis. If the number 0 is not in your confidence interval, then you would reject the null hypothesis. Okay, for these questions, to interpret the confidence interval, if 0 is within a confidence interval calculated in question 1, we do not reject the null hypothesis. And for the second situation, if 0 is not within a confidence interval, we reject the null hypothesis. Okay, it's easy. For the question 3, revisit knowledge check 2 from chapter 7.1 and create 95% confidence interval. For these questions, to create a 95 to create a 95% confidence interval for the difference between two means using two sample Z test. Follow the steps follow the steps outlined in example example 7.1. For the second part, the confidence interval for the difference between two menus. One menu is 2 is calculated using the formula. We use this formula where we can get x and x1 and x2 are the sample means, and 2 are the population standard deviation, and N1 and N2 are the sample size. C is the value for 95% confidence level, approximately 1.96. Yeah. Oh, sorry. For the question 4, the null hypothesis of knowledge, check 2. Yeah, a check 2 from chapter 7.1 was u1 equal u2, which means that u1 minus u2 is equal to 0. If the number 0 is in the confidence interval you created in question 3. If it is, then you would not reject the null hypothesis. If the number 0 is not in your confidence interval, then you would reject the null hypothesis. For these questions, to interpret the confidence interval, if 0 is within the confidence interval calculated in question 3, you do not. I think you do not to reject the null hypothesis. If 0 is not within the confidence interval, I think we need to reject the null hypothesis. For the question 5, the confidence interval you create tie very closely with the hypothesis testing, and using in the knowledge check in chapter 7.1. In fact, if 0 is in your confidence interval, you will not reject null hypothesis. And if 0 is not in your confidence interval, you will reject null hypothesis. Why do you think that is the case? Okay, for the question 5, I think the confidence interval gives a range of possible values for the population parameter. And if the null hypothesis value usually 0, in the case of a testing for difference line within this range, it indicates that the sample data does not provide sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis. Conversely, if the null hypothesis values is outside the confidence interval, it suggests that the sample data provide enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, I think it's all. It's totally for demonstration 3. Thanks for your listening.